have to start over because I have no idea. Hey guys. All right. I have no idea what happened last night. I am so sorry about that. I do want to check something real quick. Nope, it hasn't changed. For some reason, all right, it cut off, but for some reason it only processed 33 minutes. Like it not process. I don't even know what to say. It only put out 33 minutes of what we talked about yesterday. I don't know if YouTube just didn't like some of what was being said. Don't know, but we're going to start over and recover things. Now I have until about 11 o'clock. So because I'm going to be getting my hair done today. Not colored. Plus I'm going to have to see if Aaron will pay for my other dang it. I'm going to beat these cats. Not literally. That's what it's called. Cats are really making me mad. They are. You stop. Take your phone. And allow you to have a comb if you don't stop. Long story, you don't want to know. All right. You guys might be able to see the TV a little bit better. I don't know. There's still a glare. It was better with the computer over there, I will say that. Get down. No. All right.
You're finally done. We finished our new pig pasture. So the pigs have quite the hike to get up there, but I just cut this open, taking it across.
All right.
So
Hold
they
on.
can.
Usually we go through and watch our normal videos in the morning, but that doesn't have to work today, so. Back to full spectrum. And I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to write this one down, which will be alert no more food. I ran close down. 18. Ugh, I don't like that number. Just gonna pull this up just long enough to get the title. Red alert. More food. See, I've got a glare on the TV trying to read this. Food. 4. Closes it down. I'm gonna try to keep up with this stuff. Having a hard time keeping up on lives right now. U.S. Navy on high alert. After today, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do another live this week or not, because Chloe's wedding is Saturday and we have things going on every day after today. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to work in some informational videos like in the mornings and stuff, chat videos, that kind of thing. I'll try. Russian Graham exposed. I have no idea what that means. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's going on and why. Yeah.
According to U.S. Central Command of the United States of America.
The only one I'm gonna skip is come on, guys. Whoa.
We are seeing. We are watching dangerous weather patterns effectively lock themselves into place. From the Israeli Prime
We're just
Minister.
gonna restart with this one.
From the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Breaking news, everyone. You are hearing it here first. For months, we have seen signs that Iran already, in fact, is in possession of one or more nuclear bombs. It's the only thing that makes sense with how the United States of America went from complete annihilation of a country and its infrastructure to backing down and paying that $300 billion. Now we have new information, and this report is coming from the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, will immediately raise the threat level of international intelligence services, including the CIA, along with every foreign ministry and military heads.
So, like I said, we're gonna have to just go back through this. I'm not doing that one where their property was invaded twice. I haven't even had a chance to look at the other video, so they better not cut it off.
Reporting is not able to be proven. Instead, Israel is deliberately
trying to see if there's anything
for the United States of America to re-engage Iran militarily in a last shot military practice that's designed to destroy the entire country. Well, that's possible. Then we are replaying the Iraqi weapons of mass destruction all the time. During a television interview and according to documented intelligence services that are reported to have been presented to the highest levels of the members of both the Israeli and the American military, this warning has declared that the world must act immediately or face the potential for a global.
I don't see anything on there.
Vast regions of our planet to remain
I don't know why they would do that.
And decades into the lives of our family and friends. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has inadvertently verified the potential after he said that the military actions of the combined forces of the American and Israeli Air Force did in fact save the nation state of Israel from complete destruction. Well, and this would make sense if it can be proven that Iran has already obtained an atomic bomb. But if it's not true, that is even more concerning because or actually, if it is true that Iran has a nuclear weapon, then that's more concerning because it signals that years of official intelligence assessments from both Israel and the United States of America have been close, but they've been wrong all along. Now, up until now, the consistent public position has been that Iran was dangerously close to nuclear weapons capabilities through high levels of uranium enrichment. And of course, we know they have advanced centrifuge development to be able to take nuclear capable steps to becoming a weaponized country. And they have been expanding their technical expertise with their ballistic missile program. But the intelligence, which I've known is paid for by opposing potentially combative enemies of the United States of America, depending on which administration is in presidential and political power. If it's the Democrats, it looks like it's the Chinese paying for it. If it's the Republicans, maybe Russia throws a couple of rubles in there.
Y'all.
Well, the intelligence can never prove that the country is able to cross the threshold.
I'm going to say something right here, okay? I don't appreciate comments where people are basically judging my appearance just because my hair doesn't look right to you. You know what? I don't give a crap what my hair looks like to you. It's not the reason for these videos. Stop judging people and pay attention to what's going on before you get left out in the cold and don't know what the hell to do and how the hell to survive out there after all hell breaks loose. Stop being a judgmental butthole. Yeah, I'm going to say it. You guys need to stop. I don't have money to keep my hair done perfectly all the time. And you know what? I always have my hair back and had my hair like this for a long time. I'm going to get the top and sides of it trimmed up. So you know what? Y'all can kiss my butt as far as my hair goes. It's not the reason I'm doing the damn videos. I'm doing the damn videos to show you guys what's going on so you guys can keep a heads up and be able to take action and be able to survive when all hell breaks loose. So you want to shut your mouth and pay attention and actually do something about your own situation. Keep your damn mouth shut. Keep your opinions to yourself on other people's appearance. And start getting ready for what the hell's coming. Because you guys are the ones that are going to be left out in the cold wondering what to do. Sorry, rant over. I was a little bit ticked off about that.
To actually possessing an operational nuclear weapon. And a country that has the ability to build a bomb is very different than one that has already built one. And those are two very different military and diplomatically contested situations. But when the head of an entire country, for this, the Israeli government, completely erases the maybe and demands that the world act because of new information that Iran is already in possession of nuclear weapons capabilities without, I'll note this too, without presenting evidence to the public, then everyone who is watching this dumpster fire has to start asking, why right now? Why use this language? And what is the objective that could be served by making such a claim at this specific moment in time? Now, the former Prime Minister Bennett, he publicly called the statement an
Again, I apologize, but
Now,
come
what
on.
Bennett said,
It's not the reason I make the
what
videos.
they-
Keep your dang opinions to yourself.
Yeah, chief.
Sorry, my hair doesn't meet your standards.
They're emphasizing that they're fully aware of all available intelligence. Now, that's simply not true. That's a lie. in and of
Go
itself.
away. I was talking on my video.
A former chief of staff or even the high-ranking former military
It
official,
wasn't talking
they're not
about
aware of current evidence. There is circulation of information that describes Netanyahu's claim of existing nuclear capabilities as false. Now, those are more extraordinary accusations. And they're happening right in the middle of an ongoing conflict with Iran because national security issues produce a lot of political
Get over here. Eat your food.
senior Israeli political and
Eat.
military figures started to
Go lay down.
reject this,
Better not have been the next. Yeah.
creating the unusual spectacle of Israel openly, or maybe even falsely, discussing one of the most sensitive intelligence questions in the world.
No.
And this is happening while the entire Middle East remains under
You and I
enormous
will
amount of
clash.
pressure following the conflict that they're going on there. But if it's true, the military says they would have to act. They would have to act immediately to preserve the lives of millions of people and save the region and the world from the effects of the
All they
nuclear
did
fallout
was
that would see parts of our planet turned completely to glass, engulfed in fire, and littered with powdered.
You think I would have let him?
Is it possible that
Dog,
Netanyahu
touch that cat food. You're not gonna fight.
or
Get
is
over
it
here.
possible that there is an attempt now to force the hand of the American military into action? That's what I'm
Eat your
watching closely,
food.
because any movement from this point forward could allow the use of near nuclear weapons by the American military if there is a belief of true weapons.
This stuff is getting.
Now, let me tell you how I look at this. Information is as much of a battlefield as trench warfare. As they always
Now they
have
can't
been,
throw 'em.
our wars are fought with agendas and narratives. And every dumb or prudent statement that a political leader makes during a fight usually has some sort of purpose. Sometimes they use it to explain an event. Other times they use it to justify the decisions that were already made, or even to strengthen support of the homeland or send a message to enemies and allies alike. Right now, wants to reinforce the argument that Israel had no choice but to strike Iran's nuclear facilities, and saying that they have already obtained a nuclear bomb changes how those strikes would be viewed. Instead of stopping a future threat, the allied countries can't negate that Israel would be acting in self-preservation and responding to what is seen as imminent danger. The info is never static. New intelligence is reshaped every second of the day. They use satellite imagery, intercepted communications, captured documentation, and human sources or spies on the ground. But before the first missiles flew, the International Atomic Energy Agency estimated that Iran does possess more than 400 kilograms of already enriched uranium at 60 or higher percent purity. That's right at the threshold of weapons grade material, but there's still a major difference between highly enriched uranium and a deployable nuclear weapon. And this red flag that I'm seeing makes the picture even less clear. Reports are suggesting that several nuclear facilities inside of Iran were heavily damaged, with some of the enriched uranium now being buried beneath collapsed underground structures. And if that's true, inspectors have limited access and outside verification becomes non-existent. This gives
Somebody
both sides
commented about
the
my
ability
hair.
of Americans
Your
to push their own version of reality until more reliable
That's why
evidence becomes available.
Yeah,
You see, if
That's
Israel or
stupid.
America
people are stupid.
they've obtained higher enriched
That's
uranium.
why I.
difference does it make? What kind
That's
of?
why I said what I did. It's like, dude,
They have the ballistic missiles. We see
this is not why I make these videos. Keep your damn opinions to yourself. Quit judging people on their appearance. Shut up and pay attention to what's going on. You're the one that's going to be left out in the cold, not knowing what the hell's going on and not knowing how to survive.
So if
Wow.
the USA, they hadn't reacted and they pull out the evidence after the fallout, everybody will say you're right.
I freaking lost it after somebody, I read a comment, somebody said, OMG, helmet hair.
Prime Minister's response to
Oh.
watching.
Dude, you know what? Leave me alone about my hair. I've had my hair like this forever.
He still argues that they should focus on weakening
Like, I kind of like the top and sides of my hair the way it's been.
So
ground intelligence The use of
I have very coarse hair. It like feathers very well.
Yeah.
And
That's
it,
instead of
oof.
relying on near nuclear capable airstrikes. House of the United States.
I don't want flat hair.
I'm gonna start taking
Because the
this.
window for easy decisions closed months ago.
That's the
If
prostate.
Washington reaches the conclusion that Iran
Okay.
possesses
Just
The other stuff is in there.
the pressure to act with overwhelming force.
But that you wouldn't need unless, yeah.
They're gonna use a single decision inside the White House to ignite a chain of events that stretches far beyond Iran's.
I will not apologize for my rant.
So what we're watching is the opening phase of.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm overweight. I'm working on that. I actually walked around our
Decisions.
driveway and roadway 7 times this morning, and it's a start. I don't have a lot of time right now, so that's what I'm going to be doing for exercise for right now. And I'm gonna wean myself away from the unhealthy eating, which I have had a problem with, but I've also been under a lot of stress,
Or in our.
and I'm working on that.
Well, I gather today's survival tip, we're gonna.
I need support, not
This episode of-
people not being judged by stuck up snobs. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it. If you're gonna sit there and judge someone else's appearance, you're a stuck up snob.
This is not just about what is happening.
Pay attention to what's going on,
It's also
not
making sure your family and.
judge people on their appearance because it doesn't meet your standards.
I'm gonna make myself look bad.
Medicare training is one of the largest
You're
and
gonna
most
wait.
stressful parts of that process. Chapter.
Does it look like I have anything else for breakfast?
They help simplify the system so that
No.
you and your family can make informed decisions without confusion.
Well, I
If
thought
you're
you were
already on the
gonna,
best plan, they're going to tell you.
What?
There's no pressure. It's completely free. Most calls take under 20 minutes, and you can call them at 610-900-4081 or use them below. Let's talk about nuclear radiation. One of the most important facts about the fallout is the shielding, because your ability to shield from the radiation is just as important as to get away from it or the time that it takes to do so. You'll want to look for dense materials such as reinforced concrete, packed to earth brick. These things will significantly reduce radiation exposure because they're able to scatter or block the scattering gamma radiation before it reaches you. As a general rule of thumb, 4 to 6 inches of concrete reduce gamma radiation by roughly half, and each additional 4 inches of concrete will cut its layer in half again. That means 24 inches of concrete provides very substantial provides very substantial reductions in fallout radiation. And this is especially true when you combine it with overhead projectiles.
I'm not gonna put up with people doing that.
Sheltering in place.
It's like, come on, that's not what this is about. Like,
Single shelter.
is that the reason you get on YouTube is to judge other people's appearance? Like, come on.
Side and exposed during the highest fallout period. You have to think about the air that is moved in and outside of your shelters, and you have to remain in protected interiors or below ground location
Excuse me.
until
Sorry, guys.
situation above ground or outside becomes more survivable. So getting information and evacuating, getting out of a zone that is hot is probably your best plan. Well, folks, I'm going to keep diving into whether or not Iran actually has these nuclear weapons, and I'm going to bring you the information as I find it. Please make sure you're subscribed to this channel, Full Spectrum Survival. Share it off-site, x.com and Facebook, and hype this video. If you didn't already, make sure you
Okay.
check about the trespassers that we found here on our property. From my family to yours, please stay safe and keep watching.
Okay, guys.
There's a
So the next one, it's gonna go over a minute. The next one, we're gonna go into 5 foods now. So this one. Global emergency
afternoon, everyone. You're watching
issue,
Full
government leaders are stockpiling food. Iran targets Europe.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're
And I
watching
agree
Full
with
Spectrum
him.
Survival Action.
Start your preps, buy food, buy water, if you need certain meds, make sure you get them. Start looking into natural medicinal stuff. I will do my best to get more of those videos out. It's going to be a very busy week, but I at least want to get more informational videos out there for you guys.
Cannot believe that we are watching these events happen in real time. Around the world, governments are working right now to move their militaries and preparing for world war. We're also seeing the economies of our planet shake, and ordinary people are being left to wonder whether we are standing at the edge of a crisis that no one is really truly ready for. Ukrainian strikes on the Crimean power grid have now forced mandatory evacuation and rerouting or rationing. This was announced by the Crimean Power Authority in the last 24 hours. Residents have been instructed, shut off your air conditioning, turn off your televisions, do not wash your clothes in the washing machine. It also made them aware that rolling blackouts were coming soon. I find this timing to be very concerning because in New York City, New York,
All right, I'm going to go work on breakfast for us.
increased their thermostat to 80 degrees.
And yes, farm fresh eggs are very healthy.
Side of our country. Power grid is failing across the United States of America, and multiple
what are you
countries are
doing?
seeking to prioritize their infrastructure and data centers to the needs of the people. Over in Germany, the defense minister has said that this global conflict is starting soon. And
That is the other thing. If you guys hear of any data centers being built around your area, stand up against it as much as possible.
Just in case, and everyone
Keep in mind, though, that there was a man arrested in Oklahoma
telling you that
for speaking out against a data center that was going to be built in his
I
area
don't know how much of
at a town meeting. So
the
try
Kremlin
to
wants to
like go in
portray
between
NATO alliance as
and
a paper
protest
tiger
as much as
forces
possible.
to reduce
Don't do it the way these other
Security
morons
services
have done.
have detected signs of military provocations that are being prepared by Russia against Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia itself. The U.S. just warned Poland about an imminent attack. The commander of the Latvian armed forces said that due to the mass production of drones, Russia will gain a serious advantage against all of NATO by the end of 2028, unless something is done about it. Over in the Iranian conflict, a source close to Iran's chief negotiator said that Tehran is actively planning a preemptive strike against Israel. Military is on the side forward, and hundreds of missiles and drones have been prepared for a coordinated attack. The source says that Netanyahu may attack Iran again to boost his domestic standing against the October elections. Now, new amphibious deployments are taking place in the Gulf, and Tehran is viewing J.D. Vance's admission that the ceasefire is just a tactical pause as proof that the United States of America is doing nothing more than getting ready to hit Iran again. In a quote, they say that Iran is done waiting. Military bases across the Gulf have already been hit before, and this time the focus will shift entirely to Israel, with hundreds of missiles and drones in a single overwhelming strike. A simultaneous closure of the Strait of Hormuz in coordination with the Al Mandab Strait. Iran is ready. Finger on the trigger. In a press conference, disaster response authorities said that the Aspen Acres fire here in the USA has now forced mandatory evacuations for the entire Wetmore area, from Pueblo County to McKenzie Junction to Fremont County, all the way up to the north. Now, for an idea of just how far this fire has gotten out of control, the original evacuation was just mandatory for one area. But now people are not being allowed into or out of the region, and the plan is to assess homes that are being lost as well as infrastructure that is being targeted. Senator John Kennedy said in a classified American intelligence meeting that it showed that Iran was threatening now or in the preparation stage to bomb London, to bomb Paris, and to bomb Germany. In a quote, here's what our intelligence showed, and I've seen it. It's classified, but I've seen it. I can give you a general outline. American intelligence showed that Iran was building up its missile capacity, both ballistic and cruise missiles. They're going to compile so many And they're going to turn to America and Israel and say, we are restarting our nuclear weapons programs. And if you try to stop us, we will destroy the rest of the Middle East. By the way, our missiles can now reach London, Paris, and Germany. Again, this was Senator John Kennedy who said that I've seen the intelligence, and President Trump was faced with this. Trump said, do I let them continue? After already bombing their nuclear facilities, but he was faced with a decision. Do I let them get to the point where they have so many missiles and drones that they could destroy the Middle East, in London, and might even be able to hit the United States of America? Or do I stop them now? A former CIA officer stated recently that he does not believe the agency's research on individuals using the Michelob Ultra program ever stopped. Now, that program was designed to create an experiment on human subjects that was able to basically switch people on and off from being targets of other covert campaigns. Iran's chief negotiator in the new interview declared that Iran is ready for war. The negotiations with the USA are now finished until Iran gets its frozen funds. Israel fully withdraws from the region and ends all operations in Lebanon, and we will not proceed on to other issues. We see this, according to Iran, as a violation of the ceasefire. They also said that the Strait of Hormuz is Iran's greatest power tool, and everybody passing through it will begin seeing the fees charged during a 60-day period. Now, something interesting just happened. Iran is reported to have designed the MOU to trap Israel and pit the United States, its only ally, protecting Hezbollah. Israel bypassed this trap by signing the expedited deal with Lebanon directly. The new framework between these two countries ties Israeli withdrawal to Hezbollah's disarmament. Now, they just became an obstacle to Lebanon regaining full control of the south. And we see the Islamic administration complaining that the U.S. is breaching Clause 1 of the Memorandum of Understanding. The U.S. says this was a deal between two sovereign nations and cannot be adjusted accordingly. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of what is happening. This is in Spain, another wildfire. Here we have Ursula von der Leyen saying that Europe is facing a housing crisis. Well, gee, I wonder why that is. Maybe you brought in too many people, and now the people who should have housing don't have it.
Is on housing. Europe is facing a housing crisis of affordability, access, and quality. Our citizens are calling for solutions, and we are responding. Under your presidency,
Here we have individuals inside of France fighting each other just for the air conditioning that they're technically not allowed to have. On to show multiple staging areas where individuals are rushing in, and it's kind of like Black Friday used to be here in the USA, where they are going in and fighting each other, all for access to cooling, because at home when the babies are crying and sweating, when grandma's dying because it's too hot and she can't cool herself, her body won't regulate anymore. Now you have a big problem, and thousands of deaths have already been attributed to what's going on. I believe in a very cyclical.
Hang on, guys.
I believe that we have seen the very same level of swings in temperature that we are watching right now, but on an even larger, more massive scale. Ever before, some redneck in Florida was using his chainsaw to power a bicycle. Humans have an impact. I don't believe that's the cause of it. Look at all the oil refineries and depots up in flames. You don't see them complaining about anybody shooting out an oil refinery that sends massive amounts of chemicals and compounds into the air. You don't see them complaining about the volcanoes. You don't see them complaining about the war that's going on between the Russians. You don't see them complaining about the people over in Asia that are burning plastic into fuel or just burning rubber tires. You know, it's something about you, people in the United States of America, because they have learned that they can press you, tell you about anything. And I think that they're kind of bringing that entire meaning of useless users full circle. I'm going to keep scrolling so that you and your family don't have to. Please make sure you subscribe here, Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. Share this video offsite and hype it with all the hype points you can give us. For my family and yours, please stay safe and keep watching.
No east police report and 911 calls.
All right, sorry guys.
Details.
All right, so the next one.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're watching.
Blackout alert. This one.
We have seen multiple warnings go out over the
What
past
is the
several weeks
issue?
as space weather forecasters began tracking Earth-directed coronal mass ejections that left the sun in rapid succession. This is happening
think
at the
this
same
is the
time
one-
that the largest electrical grid operator in our country activated emergency response.
Yeah, he's talking about a Carrington event.
With the grid strain that we are facing right now, this will become a record-breaking electrical demand during a worldwide group-like one that has already killed thousands of people across our planet.
Guys, gotta be prepared. You really do.
Stop Earth in its tracks. Because we're talking about pressure from both above and below on our power grid.
Like I said, you guys have to pay attention to what's going on. That's why I'm doing these videos.
Depend upon
And I don't hardly have anybody that gets on
experts
here.
are warning that a
You know what? That's your choice.
We're storm hitting the Earth.
You can watch the video later.
America at the exact
But
same moment that the grid is already.
You have got to start taking steps to prepare yourself for what's going on.
What we will see instead
Because if
is the
not,
entire country being completely unplugged from
when all hell breaks loose,
by violent
what are you going to
threats.
do?
Transformers smoking to death. Our neighborhood substation beginning to fail. Military and civilian satellites will go dark. Communications will collapse and entire regions will fall dark, not just for hours or weeks, but months or even years as the electrical backbone of America buckles under a force that it was never truly meant to survive. Now, experts are warning that cities will first go silent in patches and then in waves. As air conditioners die during lethal heat, the gas pumps will stop working, water pressure will disappear. Grocery store supply chains are expected to freeze up. Hospitals will be forced to fall back to 1800s levels of care. Millions of people will realize the exact same moment in time that every system they trusted is tied to one fragile electrical pulse. That nightmare, they warned, will not be the lights going out. That's pretty much the easy part, because the lights being out only matters after dark when the Earth is the coolest. The nightmare instead would be what comes later. No refrigeration, no banking or traffic systems. Cell towers will no longer work. There will be no ease of access or replenishing of medical supplies, no fuel distribution, no timeline for restoration because the damaged equipment cannot be fixed. This is, they say, a worst case scenario because of this event. America will not collapse from one explosion, but from the terrifying quiet, wide failures like grief, panic, hunger, thirst, and misinformation, all combined with desperation, spreading faster than any official response can reach, which will turn our modern life into a countdown of just how long people can endure it until the power comes back on. While all of this is happening, seismologists are continuing to monitor what they see as extraordinarily significant activity around parts of the Pacific area's Ring of Fire. Geologists are saying that there exists research that suggests that Earth's history may contain long-term cycles of concentrated upheaval and we simply don't take seriously enough. PJM Interconnection,
Really?
that's the grid operator that's responsible for supplying power across 13 different American states and 65 million customers. They just sent out an alert warning all residents to drink water and limit their electrical use. They activated a maximum generation alert in combination with a load management warning and a low voltage warning, while at the same time recalling generating units from scheduled maintenance.
I think I'm gonna start doing videos
Doing this
geared
from Department of Energy.
towards
They say these events, these
power
crisis triggers, they hope will soften the crisis not to consumers, but critical infrastructure. I'm going to remind you that infrastructure and data centers are being built all across our country. Hospitals, data centers, the law enforcement, they are what the state cares about, not you. This is a massive red flag because grid operators don't issue these hidden alerts for fun. They know full and well that each one of these decisions has consequences. They're basically admitting that they cannot handle the job that they have been given. Every one of these steps tells you that the people behind the curtain are looking at the stress on the system. They're deciding they have to act right now before the situation gets away from them. Their own forecasts exceed the previous summer records that stood since 2006. And that means that they're preparing for a level of strain that has not been seen in history. Now, officials stress that a nationwide power outage all at the same time is not guaranteed, but nobody should pretend like this is normal. And then when we add in the information that we are seeing from our sun, the situation starts to feel even more unstable because we've entered into a period of heightened activity. And forecasters are dealing with eruptions happening so close together that modeling them becomes almost impossible. Multiple M-class solar flares following before or after an X-class flare have the potential to wipe us out. NOAA indicated that moderate to large geomagnetic storm conditions remain possible for the entire year as their analysis continues. And knowing that we live in a civilization that runs on satellites, GPS systems, cell towers, radar for aviation, everybody's friendly high voltage transmission line. That makes this even more concerning. Authorities are alerting the public that we may be witnessing the Earth's magnetic field itself changing in ways that sound like something out of a disaster briefing. Our northern pole is rapidly drifting northwest towards Siberia at about 34 miles per year, while the magnetic south pole is drifting northwest at around 20 to 23 miles per year. At the same time, our shield is shifting. New data from the ESA, our swarm satellites, show that the South Atlantic anomaly, which is a massive weak spot in the Earth's magnetic field, has grown by nearly half the size of continental Europe since 2014. While a region in Africa started weakening even faster in recent years, this suggests unusual activity is taking place deep beneath Earth's molten outer core. This is driven by turbulent movement inside the planet itself. All I'm saying is that we are not being told the number of large meteor events, and a large event means
I had to change my clothes. I didn't like what I was wearing.
witnesses have roughly doubled in 2026 compared with the historical average. So what we're really looking at is
Guys, I'm like
anomalies in our geomagnetic sphere,
I said, I do this so you guys
heat waves,
can get
yes, weak spots, and worldwide large meteor
information
events.
on what's going on.
Honestly, it's starting to feel a little bit more like the quiet pattern that
Get down.
has built their lives
Get
around.
down.
It's practice.
Come on, get down.
Recent analysis of offshore underwater patterns
You went
has
back in there,
features
Char.
that don't look like slow or gentle erosive events.
went
Underwater
back in the
mapping
living room?
shows
Come
channels and scoured basins along continental shelves that point toward high energy events. This is where enormous amounts of water were redirected and drained in just a short period of time.
I think you
Now, geological research looking across
No, she
hundreds
doesn't
of
have
billions
food
of
lunch.
years, it argues that some of the
I'm
biggest
spoiling my
events in
kitten.
our
That's what I'm
Earth's
doing.
past including major events of volcanism,
I'm working on
tectonic
eggs.
reorganization,
for
and mass extinction. Well, they say that these things might cluster in recurring intervals instead of happening randomly. But for the past 1,000 years or so, we have known a world that has been predictable enough to build cities and supply chains and our economies around. But we built those worlds around the assumption that tomorrow can mostly behave like yesterday. But Earth's longer history is filled with cataclysm and biological upset, the terrifying possibility that these are not isolated anomalies. They're instead signs of repeating cycles that affect every living creature on this planet. So if the grid starts failing during an extreme heat wave, your first priority is don't panic. Don't run outside into dangerous heat trying to fix everything all at once. Your first priority is keeping yourself and your family alive. Overheating becomes a medical emergency fast, especially when people are working in direct sunlight.
That's
or
it
under
right
stress
there.
or dehydrated, and that makes
The biggest thing,
homes need to be prepared before the outage, not after. Have blackout curtains, reflective window coverings, shade. Better
Are
attic
we
insulation
prepared?
Can help slow
Not
down
even
the heat
close.
stuff outside. And anyone relying
but
on
us, it's a
refrigeration,
money issue,
refrigeration
especially with the
stations,
water.
anything that is temperature sensitive needs a real plan,
Mhm.
not a last minute scramble.
Yep.
Insulated containers, portable refrigeration, backup power, rechargeable battery stations, all of these things can help you. Independent power sources make the difference between staying functional or you and your family being trapped. The worst time to discover that your preparations don't work is after the grid is already gone.
Yep.
The house is heating up, the sun is erupting, international forecasts are changing, and everyone around you suddenly realizes that the modern world is not as protected as they thought it was. Folks, you're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, where I'm going to keep scrolling so that you and your family
All
don't
right.
have to. Please subscribe.
So the next one,
We have seen multiple warnings go out over the past several days as space weather forecasts.
is that one. How they control a population. Right here.
The art community, that's over 2,000 pounds of rice. Account
All right. So this one,
the revelations that
breaking. This is how they control the population. America's hidden programs are no longer conspiracy. You know what he was saying right there? What matters in a grid down situation is survival, not anything else. I mean, yes, your family matters, but that's why survival matters. That's why we have to get prepared now. And I'm even like us as well. And I'm working on the money end of it. And I'm going to do another video and talking about our business and that kind of thing. But this is why. This is why we need to be prepared.
have been presented to us
And
by
as
the
I
US
said, if
government
you're not
last year.
prepared, what do you think's going to happen? Are you going to make it? Is that last minute scramble? You're going to make a ton of mistakes, not going to be ready, and you're going to panic. And in doing that, it's going to be a death sentence for you and your family.
To say the least, and I need you to understand the real danger here. They told us that it was illegal or at best bad to ask too many questions about intelligence agencies, for national security. That we shouldn't question their psychological operations, the mandated or encouraged assassinations, their secretive programs, or the hidden government activity. But what they're telling us right now that happened, it is continuing to happen, is literally the worst case scenario for the United States of America's people. Our citizens stopped asking questions because they were afraid of being ridiculed or worse. And that is how people in power get away with the things that they do. And it's how a population gets trained to ignore the things that they should have their ears perking up about. Every week, we are seeing that yesterday's possible conspiracy story is tomorrow's admitted truth. And then by the time that the truth finally comes out, the damage is already done and it can't be reversed. We already know how governments have hidden programs from the public, and the official stories have changed after investigations forced records into the light. We've seen how once an item is dismissed as too extreme, and later confirmed in congressional hearings or in declassified files, partial government admission as being true, and they start to tell us the truth. So when somebody says that could never happen, the only honest answer that you can give them is it already has. MK Ultra, where this starts to get personal. Imagine finding out years later that your government funded experiments involving drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, behavioral control, and psychological pressure. We're now openly realizing that human beings were pulled into research environments in which their consent, government oversight, or basic ethics were weak, altogether ignored, or absent from the beginning. And that the state has been treating citizens like tools because someone in power decided that the goal would justify the methods that they were going to use. And then there's the issue with the so-called destroyed documents. And you and I both know that no records are ever destroyed. Sure, they might hide them. They could digitize them. They could burn the OG. And when they tell us that these records were destroyed before investigators can see them, then you know that the truly dirty work that they have performed is hidden behind a veil of ill intent and secrecy that could cause the American people to riot. Programs such as MK Ultra have become more clear because they are no longer matters of speculation. Congressional investigations during the 1970s established that the CIA funded and conducted, and likely to this day, involved psychoactive drugs, hypnosis, the deprivation of sensory, and other techniques under extreme conditions. The Church Committee represented one of the most consequential moments in modern American oversight because the hearings exposed surveillance programs, operations that were covert, assassination plots against American and even foreign leaders, and intelligence activities that lawmakers say fully exceeded constitutional limitation. But long before we had social media, long before that started to ruin American minds, governments and advertisers worked with psychologists and political strategists to understand that repetition, emotional association, and carefully crafted messaging would in fact influence public opinion. Now, without a doubt, all the news that men and women of our parents' era were exposed to was in some way co-opted into being crafted on an official narrative. Now modern technology has dramatically expanded those capabilities through recommendation and citing, targeted visual placement, large-scale data collection, and personalized, non-informative feeds. This is no longer coercion. It's relative manipulation in the human psyche. And because of that overlap, we see advancements in neuroscience, artificial intelligence, the computer and brain interfaces, and neurotechnology, creating developments that blend our claims on what they were doing and what they're doing today into probably the worst action that we've ever seen. The historical record demonstrates that governments have concealed controversial activity. They demonstrated that secrecy creates a very fertile breeding ground for theories that go far beyond what available evidence is able to prove. Now, understanding that realities simultaneously, understanding both of those realities simultaneously might be the most productive way to approach this new life that we live in. We're remaining skeptical and recognizing that Your own responsible inquiry depends on the distinguishment of documented facts, unresolved questions, and personal speculation, instead of thinking that being able to see what you're seeing is just one believable object. Senators warned that once that door opened on the truth, it changed the relationship between governments and the people that they govern. One of the most concerning examples remains the CIA's MK-Ultra. Following World War II, entering into the height of the Cold War, and most likely
Lay down.
today, people that are in coward and are right now
Lay down.
are experimenting with methods of interrogation, psychological manipulation, and widespread coercive action. Destruction of the files around this and an attempt to reconstruct the events leaves us with fragmentation rather than complete archives. And the Church Committee, which was established during the mid-1970s, overseeing the revelation of surveillance programs directed upon the American citizen, as well as their covert operations across seas, assassination plots, the targeting of foreign leaders, and unauthorized domestic, that means us, intelligence activities without ethical oversight is an affront to the people. Americans learned for the first time that intelligence agencies are, to this day, operating beyond known constitutional limitations of what they should permit. And then from that point forward, every declassification effort carried a weight of distrust. The release of documents concerning the Kennedy assassination, Cold War, covert operations, aliens, intelligence activities, they're released in
Sorry, I had to run out and grab some fresh herbs for our egg.
large swaths of files remaining classified. And for what? Tell you that you were right,
Yep.
but they're not going to tell you how right you were. Now, human behavior is shaped without secret laboratories or exotic technology, and advertisers knew this before social media existed, and then political campaigns refined the psychological practice across generations. They knew that repetition,
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the first 7 videos
pushing fear, social
and then
conformity, and
stop
authority,
this live,
proof identity, the alter
and we'll save the next 7
horrible, ordinary circumstances.
for another live.
These mechanisms didn't require science.
I think I'm just gonna do like 7 videos per live from now on.
Psychology operate right now.
So we only have a couple more to
You know
go
how
through.
Pepsi exists.
Give us a
but
chance to
only
talk a little bit.
one tastes better than the other, and a not Pepsi could be good today and enjoy a Coke tomorrow. They're also told to believe that the Republicans are right.
Okay.
Not that whack job on the other aisle. They have no validity in their doctrine. And unlike earlier manipulation campaigns, today the system adapts itself to you, the individual user, which prompted governments and military planners
I'm gonna go work on our
to
eggs.
study how digital environments can be molded to alter public acceptance. They're now altering political behavior and the so-called collective decision-making process. Step 1 was village manipulation back in the day. She's a witch style behavior. Burn that sucker. And then it was Coke and Pepsi, Republicans and Democrats, and now they're using neural decoding and non-invasive methods of interpreting categories of brain activity. Defense organizations are invested in research involving human cognitive resilience and advanced interfaces that are designed to alter decision-making processes during operational conditioning. If they were willing to drug people, study them, manipulate them, spy on them, burn documents, destroy or hide the records, get rid of all the evidence, and then walk away from it, barely without anyone being held accountable, what exactly do you think they're willing to do right now with artificial intelligence, data centers, mass surveillance, behavioral activity, neurotechnology, and a population that carries a tracking device in every pocketed purse, every hour of every day? It's simply next to you. It's your own tracking beacon.
Yep.
The tools they use are not limited anymore.
No, they're not.
Reach of the bad actors. It's not limited. The general public is distracted, divided, and psychologically exhausted more than probably at any point in human history.
Yeah.
People who laugh or balk at the claims that we make of what the government is really doing are usually the ones who read the truth last
Yep.
before anything can be done about it.
Yep.
The people that tell you to calm down are the same ones who have not looked hard enough at exactly what has already been committed.
Yep.
Remain skeptical. Stop letting powerful institutions shame you out of asking the right questions, because once a government learns that it can cross the line and call every critic unstable, tell the people who are caught in these decades later, and then we see that that line never really existed in the first place. Be ready, be prepared, and know what to do next. We are
Yep.
facing a world that is right on the edge of revolution.
Yes, we are.
All together, today's survival tip, we're going to take a quick moment and hear from Chapter. Today's episode of Full Spectrum Survival is brought to us by you, the viewer, and by Chapter. Preparedness is about making smart decisions that protect your family for years to come. If you or someone in your family is on or considering Medicare, then you know just how overwhelming all of the options can be. Chapter is an independent Medicare advisor that compares plans all across our nation. It works with you. Because they're independent, they're not paid to push you toward any one certain plan. Instead, their focus is finding the best coverage that fits your needs. If you're already on the best plan, don't worry, we're going to tell you. One of our own viewers here recently shared that Chapter helped them find the exact same Medicare supplemental plan that they already had for around $120 less per month. That saved them roughly $1,400 per year, or an ARC unit that's over 2,000 pounds of rice. Consultation is free. There's no pressure. Most calls take less than 20 minutes. You can contact them by calling 610-900-4081 or use the link below. Of course, each one of our preparedness
show you guys
plans
this.
should assume that at some point your cell phone will become unavailable,
Yeah.
whether you choose to leave it at home. It has a dead battery, there's network outages, or
Well, you guys see how big that sage leaf is. It's huge.
military units never depend on a single communication system.
Like I'm at the bottom of the stem.
Because redundancy is what keeps operations
We
moving.
got some nice sage this year.
Scales. You and your family need
It
to
smells so good too.
offline as much as you can. Keep printed maps, printed documentation of medicinal use, written contact lists. You need to know the important, how many you know
And medicinal plants.
besides very close circles.
I highly recommend this book. Please look it up and buy
Phone
it.
number of the video store, local grocery store, doctor. You knew the phone number, now you don't. Now they put everything into a box. When they make that box stop working, or you choose not to use it anymore, you're useless. The goal isn't always to abandon the technology completely, but ensuring that you can communicate, coordinate, and make informed decisions even without your personal tracking device. Start thinking right now on how you'll go offline. Folks, you're watching Full Spectrum Survival, where every day I scroll so that you and your family don't have to. Please make sure you share this video. Please hype it, and make sure you check back at 2 p.m. for more breaking news and headlines from America for America.
You're fine.
Coming up at 5:35 now, the U.S. and Iran continue to
Okay.
fight.
The next one.
The Arctic Unit. That's over 2,000.
This one right here. Code Red, NATO is next. Zelensky sounds the alarm as Russia prepares massive strike. Get food and meds
Now, again,
down.
there's another conspiracy.
And water.
She says this is Merkel. She says the elites do what we don't like. The people are those who agree with us. We can't allow this to happen. So a German citizen has been a German citizen for 2 years or for 4 days, or the entire family for 3 generations. And what she's talking about right here is how they are forcefully importing citizens to align with political value.
Putin has to realize she's not winning this fight. I think every day today, what's happening with Ukraine, and they're actually pressing the attack in Crimea, the gas lines in Crimea, and long-range strikes. There are people who see that.
Now, this is speaking on the Russian problem. Right now, we are seeing that there is going to be large-scale engagement very soon. They say the Hunger Games just started in Russia as they're hijacking fuel trucks. I've got to turn this off because of the music. You can see they get the vehicles. Like this is like Fast and Furious, right? At the motherland. Standing on the front of the vehicle, gets up in front of it, closer, closer, he says. And finally, attempted to jump onto it. Gets on. Now you can take over this fuel vehicle and get the guy to pull over and get all of the fuel out of it. This is a world in collapse. Here we have three sons of the former Iranian supreme leader. They're sitting there praying beside his coffin. Or what you're missing with this video is that the new supreme leader of the country of Iran is not there. Here we have Mount Etna erupting. This was on July 4th, the 4th of July in the United States of America, with fireworks showing that the volcanic activity around our entire. Here we have the ground splitting open. This time, this is in Brazil. Is earthquake flights. So this is in Japan. This happens. It's tectonic activity. The volcanologists, the space weather watchers, the earthquake seismologists, we're about to get rocked on this planet. And we might be seeing continental shifting and breaking taking place right now. So that's one thing that's perking up my ears. Indonesian volcano. Talking about the Americans and kind of the planet, so we can look back and see exactly what it was. This is a post from Zelensky saying that the dream that many trials, America's influence and importance is visible around the world, and the value of Ukraine in the United States of America during Russia's full-scale war. You see how Zelensky always wants to take him back to talk about himself. Donald Trump posted this. Europe is learning that when you take in third world criminals, become a third world to an eye. And that he was elected to the United States of America just in time. Now, whether you believe that Donald Trump is the savior from this immigration crisis that the United States of America was implementing, or we're just a pause button, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next. Because let me tell you, the detention centers that they set up converted for you. And they know because you're walking around with your spy device every single day. You know what your feelings are, what you look at. You see, when an ad pops up on your spy device, right, and you're flipping through, and you look at one part in particular. Let's just say you look right over here, okay? When you look there, psychologically, that gives them an indicator. They're using that information to manipulate you and to target you. This isn't conspiracy theory. This is human behavioral psychological fact. Have to get rid of this. It's bad. Well, folks, things are getting worse out there, and I'm going to keep scrolling so that you and your family don't have to. Please make sure you subscribe. Please share this video off-site, X.com and Facebook, and hype this video. From my family to yours, stay safe. Keep watching.
Things are definitely getting a lot worse, you guys. So we got one more. Yeah, one more.
Versucht immer wieder zu sagen.
Now, again, here's another conspiracy.
And it's not this one.
She says
this one.
According to recent reports, the Iranian parliament speaker declared that the United States of America and Israel
This
are now
is,
compelled to
hold on.
acknowledge Iran's regional allies under the terms of the Memorandum of Understanding. They have described this agreement as a defeat of the United States of America
Breaking, Trump threatened, global alert,
and a victory
refuses
for
lit.
what Iran has named.
Iran demands revenge and by water.
According to the speaker, in the recent memorandum, the United States and Israel were forced to recognize
Buy food,
allies
water,
in the access of resistance,
seeds.
one of the achievements of this understanding. The quote is continued to say that Iran and the axis of resistance stood together against the United States of America, what they call the greater evil. They added that the understanding represents a defeat for the USA, an achievement for this axis, both militarily and politically. They have warned that if the United States, or what they call the Zionist regime, sense even a moment of weakness or the struggle, then Iran will resort to war. The top security official has said that the mourners that were attending the funeral of the martyred leader of the Islamic Revolution, that's Khamenei, they gathered in mass, united in chanting for resistance against all enemies. Now, they also called for a revenge for the blood of their late leader. He had a chance to kill or take out or attack or target multiple American leadership figures here inside of the USA. Officials described the crowds as a roaring sea of people, each one of them demanding revenge for the blood of the late Iranian Supreme Leader and so-called total resistance against the militant adversaries. Now, according to the secretary, the roaring sea of people shouted slogans, two of which perked my ears up. This was during the funeral where they said resistance against enemies and revenge for the blood of Iran's martyred leader. The Iranian army chief is quoted as saying that the country must never abandon its quest or its revenge over the assassination of the leader of the Islamic Revolution. In a quote, he says, "Those who committed this nation of Iran and all of us will never cease in our pursuit towards justice. We will not let go of them, and this
My hair does look like crap, I'll give you that. Can't wait until
Right here in the
time.
USA, with these reports, we are seeing an increase on American soil anti-terror activity.
Remember, guys,
President of the United States of America,
buy food,
Secretary of Defense, Exit, and the Secretary
water,
of State, Marco Rubio. Here in looking
seeds.
at news, and Israeli
Those are really, really important. Meds,
comrades during the conflict. Israel and the United States of America.
medicinal.
On this. This was theorized prior to the announcement
Medicinal seeds
by a senior Israeli official about the iron dome batteries that
and
the country of
the
Iran
books that
and complete restoration
teach how to
ridiculously by the
use them.
Station, not just from the United States of America alone. We're also seeing calls to act financially.
Do your research.
Ukraine, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, and Jordan.
Get your homestead started.
And will be Iran who acts militarily for the participation by proxy in the allowance of the territorial use during the conflict.
Yes, starting a garden is the beginning of your homestead.
This could be why we're seeing a push from the United States of America.
Get your homesteading books.
Outstretch in their military operation to soon involve Polish landscape. According to the reports, the relationship between Poland and Ukraine
Plan your layouts.
last 60 days. This was after the Ukrainian leadership granted the name
Tune in
PA. They did this to a military group
to our videos
to strip the
to
Ukrainian
learn
border of Poland highest honor that was bestowed upon him in the year 2023.
To get more information
News every day here at Full Spectrum Survival to give you an idea of what's
on, to get more information.
The Polish defense minister has moved to declassify all the military aid that has been granted to Ukraine behind closed doors. for the past
My hands smell like herbs now.
Now, the defense
Not a bad
minister
thing.
Quoted as saying, after a consultation with the prime minister, acted responsibly towards the public and
Okay, so the next live, I might do one. I don't know if I'm gonna do one later or not. I'm gonna let it
2020.
finish processing these.
Now, researchers say that this disclosure will provide one of the most comprehensive official military
call me.
accounts to date. The aid that has been given or supplied by a frontline NATO membership leader.
And I don't know who the spam person is, but they keep trying to reach me.
Also wonder this could be the starting point for the nuclear weaponized country of Russia to back up their claim.
I'm gonna try to get some fun little videos out there.
Involved in the Ukraine and the ability for this country of the former Soviet Union, I know, to attack Russia.
I really want to get into resin art. I really do.
The Russian president, Vladimir Putin.
I know, I'm all over the place.
Said he actually gave a warning that any attempt to blackmail Russia with nuclear weapons or a complete denial of their sovereignty, the tide will turn against their enemies. It hasn't been long since the Russian president stated that Russia will not allow under any circumstances that any step toward the creation of nuclear weapons by Ukraine will meet an appropriate response. So now we have a forward movement of nuclear capability on the Russian front line. And we're seeing open source intelligence warn that this is the beginning. They're giving now Russia the ability to politically justify the use of nuclear weapons on the battlefield in what has so far been a war of attrition, one of combative retaliation. Recent reports are showing that Russian forces are fully capable of capturing areas within Ukraine, particularly what is known as the Fortress Mill.
We're gonna talk a little bit once this video is done.
We're now
Again, I know no one's on here. So we're gonna have to work on that. Maybe it's my attitude. I don't know. But I'm not gonna put up with
districts.
judgmental buttholes. I'm just not gonna put up with it.
Now falling entirely under Russian control. And this, they say, will happen by the end of summer. Eastern Europe is turning into a fuse box in the United States of America.
I've already wrestled with myself on being judgmental to people and
Start moving from
have been praying and praying, for God to change that. And he is. But I'm not going to put up with judgmental people. It's not going to do it. And you know what? You guys, I pray for you. As a matter of fact, Father God, I just lift up those people that were being judgmental. Forgive me for lashing out, Lord. I just lift them up and I just pray your peace over them.
So right now,
If they don't know you, I pray in Jesus' name right now that
not just what they're saying.
they will come to know you.
You and I need to
Help them to lead them to our devotional videos
and our
and help them to find you in
watch
Jesus'
out
name.
for the red flag
Your personal Lord and Savior.
place.
Thank you and ask this in your precious name.
The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine.
Don't be judgmental. Just don't.
What is about to pop off in the Asian Pacific. I just saw a report from one of our leaders in our military that says the United States of America is ill prepared right now to fight China. This
Yeah,
we will have to build up a massive armament.
absolutely.
Capabilities. There's a big fear that's going through classified channels here inside of the
Okay,
USA.
the next
that
video.
China or Russia.
All right, I'll cover this in a minute. I'm sorry. I keep
Civil war inside of the USA.
trying to cover a lot of things in a short amount of time.
Small event turns into civil unrest as we see riots and fights break out all across Russia and Ukraine as the people there do not have access to their fuel. Now, without access to fuel, that means they can't go to work.
So this is lemon water with Redmond's real salt in it.
Mortgages.
Real electrolyte.
The people of our country saying, what am I doing here? I'm going to fight to get this done. So we are seeing that at a massive level take place.
I think it needed a little more lemon juice.
Right now, so I'm going to warn you and your family to please get ready. While I gather today's survival tip, we're going to take a quick moment and hear from Chapter. Today's episode of Full Spectrum Survival is brought to us by you, the viewer. and by chapter. Preparedness is about making smart decisions that protect your family for years to come. If you or someone in your family is on or considering Medicare, then you know just how overwhelming all of the options can be. Chapter is an independent Medicare advisor that compares plans all across our nation and work with you because they're independent, they're not paid to push you toward any one certain plan. Instead, their focus is finding the best coverage that fits your needs. If you're already on the best plan, don't worry, they're going to tell you. One of our own viewers here recently shared that Chapter helped them find the exact same Medicare supplement plan that they already had for around $120 less per month. That saved them roughly $1,400 per year, or in our community, that's over 2,000 pounds of rice. The consultation is free, there's no pressure, and most calls take less than 20 minutes. You can contact them by calling 610-900-4081.
I have to take care of
Or
getting.
use the link below.
Can't wait to get
Let's talk
here.
about crowd survival. One of the best survival decisions that you can make and teach your kids to make is recognizing when it's time to leave before everyone else decides that they should. Don't wait for a full-blown riot to turn
Right.
into one during a protest. Watch out for sudden changes, things like crowd behavior. These things signal a peaceful protest beginning to deteriorate. Pay attention to the moods of crowds and people around you and the arrival of individuals who appear very focused on confronting or confrontation rather than demonstration. Want to look out for people who are concealing their identities or aggressive behavior, either to other people in the crowd in the area like bystanders or to law enforcement. Look for damage to properties, thrown objects, or sudden surges in movements as portions of a crowd begin running rapidly throughout one area or another, or changing their
I
direction.
might have accidentally hit
By the
that
time
button
something
last night.
bad starts to happen or widespread violence breaks out, you've already waited too long. The safest course of action is to be able to watch and see what is happening. If you're caught in one of these areas, to leave calmly. The first sign of the atmosphere shifting from organization into uncontrolled disorder.
Gotta take care of my clothes
So
too.
this is your last chance to get out before something bad happens.
All right.
Folks, you're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, where I scroll every day so you and your family don't have to. Please make sure you subscribe, like this video, and check back at 2 p.m. this afternoon for more breaking news and headlines from America.
And I'll write that one down on the list. All right. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I did do another video last night. I will probably get that uploading. I don't know how long it will take to upload. I'll try to see if I can get that to upload. It's not uploaded before I have to leave. Scott, I have to stay here. I really want to get that out there though, because it's a informational video. It's the pin I'm working on in the binder. Sorry, over an hour. I think what I'm gonna do, because I really want to do another business video, but I think I'm gonna wait. Not gonna add that to this video, because this video is already pretty long. And I'm gonna do that one a little bit differently, and I'm gonna start messing around with hopefully like editing and that kind of thing, and see if we can get some better quality videos and stuff. So all right, I am gonna get off from here, you guys, and I think I'm gonna do another live. Might try for tomorrow. I don't know. I'd have to get up pretty early. If I can get up fairly early tomorrow, I'll try to do another live, maybe even around 6 in the morning. I know there's probably going to be nobody on, but it'll be there for you guys. keep an eye on your subscriptions. Just make sure you're still subscribed. Click on the notification bell. Click on all to make sure you get all the notifications. I'm gonna I'm gonna work really hard to try to get out informational videos for you guys this week. I want to get through these lives. I have 2 more. Well, I have 1 more to get us caught up. Technically 2, because there's like some Riverside videos that I'll add to this as well. So far, it's just been full spectrum videos. But yeah, I will try to do another live tomorrow morning early. I'm gonna be leaving probably around 9:30-ish to meet Chloe. So it's gonna be a lot going on this week. I'm gonna be with Chloe. I'm gonna have Sarah this week. Wednesday, we're gonna be going to Emily's open house that's here in Michigan. That's later, obviously. So I could try to, I'm gonna try to work around to get informational videos out there and yada yada yada. I still have another video to upload from my phone. So anyway, it's a busy time, it's a busy week. Thursday. Today's the 13th. Tomorrow's the 14th. That's when we get Sarah. Me and Chloe are going to be hanging out tomorrow. Wednesday's the 15th. That's Emily's open house. The 16th. It's on the calendar. I brain farted. It's on the calendar in the kitchen. There is something going on the 16th. I just don't remember what it is. So it's Thursday. Oh, Chloe's gonna help me do my hair. And we're gonna do like a little pool party at the top. That'll be fun. Can't wait. I can't wait. So I don't know how we're gonna work that out though. I don't know if I want to get in the pool after doing my hair. Because I don't want the chlorine in my hair to mess it up. I'll talk to Chloe about that. Anyway, yeah, the 17th is a rehearsal dinner, and then of course the 18th is a wedding. So in the morning of the 18th, we have to go pick up Destiny by like 8:30 in the morning, or about 8:45. And I mean, me and Aaron, and then we have to get her to the church, and we're probably going to be at the church most of the day. In between that time, I have to make a couple things for her wedding. So yeah, I'm going to have Aaron help me get what I need for that. Probably have to have Aaron help me out because I'm going to have to get that made Friday morning. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the flowers that I wanted to do. We'll see. I don't know. Anyway, so we got a busy week, and I'm going to try to get informational videos out there. I'm going to try to get these lives done hit and miss early in the morning. So we'll see. And I will see you guys in the next video. Do your research. Stay on top of things, you guys. And remember, these videos, I'm trying to get information out there to you. And that's it. That's why I'm doing these videos. Because I care about all of you guys, and I really want you guys to be prepared. So get your seeds, get your homesteading books, get some graph paper. Start graphing your layout of your, or poster board. You can use poster board too. and start graphing and drawing out your layout. And you don't have to be an artist to do that. Doesn't take much. Let's just work on, getting things figured out, get your homesteads going, gardens, garden beds, container gardening. And I will see you guys in the next video. And keep your heads up, you guys. Stay vigilant. Stay on top of things. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.